Hey everyone, I'm Nikki,
I'm Flossie.
and welcome to another episode of your favorite manifestation podcast, The Assumption Effect. This episode, we're going to talk about manifesting millions and everything else.
So, one of the things that Nikki and I want to talk about on this is that we actually manifest for each other. So, we affirm for each other. I script. I think sometimes Nikki also scripts, and we just include each other in whatever it is that we're doing. Because, your assumption is what manifests, right? And if you choose to assume that there's power in numbers or that someone else affirming for you helps out, like Nikki does manifest for me and has great success with that, then it's going to work. Why? Because that's your assumption. And so I do like to script, and I like to script as if things like I'm writing in a journal, as if either things are happening now or that I'm reminiscing about the past. So, do you care if I give a quick example?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, so let's say Nikki and I are, we're each actively manifesting something, and one of us is in a bridge of incidents. Like, let's say that Nikki's in a bridge of incidents, or, her manifestations start to unfold. I will in my journal when, like, because I talk to Nikki almost every day. So I'll say, I talked to Nikki today and we were reminiscing about XYZ, and I'll reference like the unfolding, but I make it seem like it was a long time ago and that she already has her manifestation. And so, that's one of the things I do, but we've been manifesting for each other for a long time, and we've manifested a lot of stuff combined together and separate.
And Flossie and I have always held a strong belief because we are best friends in real life. Like we don't just do this and then like go our separate ways. We talk all the time. We've been friends since 2020. It's just what we do. So she is literally my manifestation buddy and I am hers. And you can do this with your buddies too. A big thing with that, and I know we're going to emphasize, and everybody wants us to get to the money part in the class, we'll get there. But I want to emphasize that when Flossie and I talk to each other, there are times where we vent about our 3D and what's going on, but we do not stay there. We pull each other out of that really quick, just like you would with your regular friends in the 3D. We build each other up and we go right back to it's happening, it's done, it has no freaking choice. And, we really focus on that. Now, manifesting millions. Yes, I did that. Yes, there were a lot of naysayers. No, I'm not going to show my bank statements because privacy issues. But I will tell you right now that in the coming weeks, after we do the class and things like that, I will reveal more of that as we keep going. Now, Flossie helped me with that particular manifestation, just like we help each other with a lot. And she, obviously I've shown proof before, but like the other manifestations I've had with money when I was manifesting winning the lottery, and I just win like $5,000 here or $10,000 there. And then I think the biggest one I had was like 60 or 80. I can't even remember because
It was a lot.
I can't keep track. Um, there was a time I got all the way up to, and I'm not just talking about gambling apps, guys. Like I've done this with with lottery. I won almost $200,000, not one. I got $200,000 from somewhere unexpected. Somebody sold their house and gave me all their money. Like it sounds unheard of. You're like, holy crap, that's unreal. Why would somebody do that? Because it's my reality, because I said so. And I didn't say, oh, this person's going to give me money. It just a bridge of incidents occurred to where they gave me the money.
Well,
And
and I'd like to just interject real quick that um, I also manifested a ton of money, but in home equity because I manifested the person that I had a house with literally just deciding that they were going to sign that over to me.
right,
And it ended up having, by the time everything was said and done, like $250,000 of equity in it.
right. And we both have businesses and investments outside. Like manifestation coaching is not Flossie and I's bread and butter. Like I don't know why people think that, but or I know people don't think that. Some people do, but Flossie and I both have businesses. We have investments. We have things that we work on. We're pretty solid. We're pretty comfortable. Coaching is just something fun that we enjoy doing, but more than anything, we enjoy doing the lives and we enjoy doing the podcasts. Um, anyway, back to the winning thing. So Flossie and I have always said we're multimillionaires. We're multimillionaires. And of course, since we're best friends, we've always said if one of us wins a shit ton of money or comes into the shit ton of money, not if, when, we're definitely going to split that stuff. So it'd be
Hmm.
no surprise to anybody that Flossie's getting a payout from me because
Well,
she is.
I've also got, rods in the fire or however you want to call it. And I have things that are, in its process. And Nikki and I have talked about that she would get money from that too. So, you know,
It's not,
there,
yeah, it's not just to the winnings. It's we sharing's caring when it comes to friendship. And, I've had people message me already asking me for money that I don't know, like giving me their sob stories. Guess what, guys? I made millions of dollars before this win. This was just something fun I wanted to share. Nobody was hitting me up before, and now they think it's because it's something I didn't work for that they deserve. So I'm going to use the reference. I'm going to teach you to fish. I'm not gonna just give you fish. Um, I'd like to see somebody try to contact Elon Musk. Why don't you go ask them for some money or something? I don't know. I was very offended. I'm like, wow, people are actually like hitting me up about this. It was really awkward. I was like, no, sorry about your situation, but you can join our free class, which is what we're going to talk about now. We're doing the free class. When are we doing it? March 29th.
yeah, March 29th.
Live on YouTube. We're going to do a free Manifest Millions crash course. We're going to walk through everything you possibly need to do. No coaching, no like individual coaching is involved. Nothing's for sale. Like everybody keeps saying, oh, you're going to buy their course. Guess what? This course is free.
We have so much free stuff that it's kind of like ridiculous. And, sometimes people have commented, well, why do you charge for coaching? And it's like, well, I think a lot of people subscribe to the mindset that, there should be some sort of energy exchange, just period.
Well, not even that. That's like asking the owner of Amazon to not take a paycheck or anybody to not take
But
a
I mean,
paycheck.
sometimes though that like I think I know one time or another that I've probably bartered coaching for, something. So, then that's an energy exchange. But most energy exchanges nowadays are in the form of money.
Correct.
But, you wouldn't, people, like when people are taken advantage of, they just don't feel right about it. Like it doesn't sit well.
Speaking of energy exchange, I'm just going to throw this out there because it's a podcast and it cracked me up. I
Mm.
was just scrolling Facebook the other night just for fun and funsies. And somebody was looking for a wedding photographer. And this lady commented, it was in a group, and she's like, I work for Cheesecake. And somebody was like, are you serious? She's like, oh yeah, I love cheesecake. She's like make me the best cheesecake. I'll come photo or do your wedding photos for free. I was like, are you kidding me? And then I went to her Facebook page. I'm gonna have to find that. I gotta hunt this lady down. I went to her Facebook page and there's tons of wedding photos and she's got cheesecake, like selfies with cheesecake. I was like, this girl, like she's gonna be my second bestie. You're still my first, but you know what I mean? It was so ridiculous. But yeah, that's a good example of energy exchange. Like before there was a lot of currency going around. That's what we did back in the day. We bartered. We bartered with bread for, a thing of twine or whatever, but that's just how it is. That's how it works. But right now my coaching is turned off. Flossie still coaches. I mean, it's not like I have set amounts of things with my money as far as investments and I just invested in a $3.5 million building for Centered, and I know I did take that video down. It's because I'm redoing the last end of it because I don't like it. So I will repost that. But Flossie's got investments in big companies. I have investments in big companies that we have ownership in. So it's not like that stuff's not spoken for. It's not, I think that's where the lottery curse comes from, is people have this money mindset. And that's one thing we're going to talk about in this crash course. People
Hmm.
have this money mindset that once you get a lot of money, that's it. You're set for life. Now, while that is true, because it's whatever you assume is true, right? I think because we are more logical coaches, I think I'm not going to just let it sit in my checking account. that would be ridiculous. It's in a managed money account because that's where it goes because it builds interest, and I have a whole life account because that builds interest and I can pull from it. And you want to live off the interest. You want to reinvest in stocks. You want to reinvest in your own business or your own passions because life isn't about just sitting around on your couch. I mean, if you want it to be, it can be, but
Well,
sitting around on your couch door dashing 24/7 and watching Netflix. I mean, if that's your cup of tea, then go for it. I'm not going to judge you. But for me, it's about experience. And everybody's going to spend it differently. Everybody's going to invest differently. But I think that's where that lottery curse comes from, is because people are like, oh, I'm going to blow all this money. And then they have nothing left.
well, usually the people that do that, the people that end up being back to broke, they just have poor money mindset in the first place, or they have like ridiculous money patterns that they've never worked on. And, you know, I mean, that's my assumption about it is the people have never known how to, part of it is deal with money, but they just have such a poor money mindset to begin with. And there's a lot of reasons why, as far as assumption goes, that people aren't manifesting the amount of money that they want. And that's some of the stuff that we're going to talk about. Like one of my clients, her issue with money, and I don't like to use the word block for various reasons, but she had a really large dominant assumption that people that had money were assholes, and she literally didn't want to be a jerk. Like she didn't want to be seen as one of those people, one of those rude, entitled people. And so, because I was like, why don't you have your money now? And like one of her answers literally was, well, I don't want to be like a rich person. Like I don't like those people. Like that was like one of her answers. And so we worked on changing her mindset about that. And so, you know, Nikki and I wanted to touch base on this video to not only talk about, a little bit of how we manifest, but talk about how we're going to give you guys a free class that any of our subscribers here can take advantage of. Like, if you want to have a free class on how to make money, there you go. There's no hidden fees, there's nothing weird. If you're a subscriber, you can be part of the class, and that's just it.
Right. We're not asking for stars or handouts or
Yeah.
donations or whatever. That's ridiculous.
It's just something that
Um,
we're choosing to do, just like we have we've had for other free courses, like we had one on our website.
Right. Like literally the only thing you can get on the website right now is coaching with Flossie and then our subscription for like live VIP coaching and manifest for me. That's it.
Hmm.
I don't personally have the time to coach right now. I just don't. I do have some of my old clients that reach out and I'll help them from time to time, but right now I do not have the time. And if you saw my other video before I took it down, again, just because I want to edit some pieces in it, I do own a company and that's not the only one. That's just one. And then the other one, God, I just got off a meeting to hop on this podcast for the other one, and that one's nationwide, so time zones and stuff. So I had to meet late because right here it's what, 11 o'clock at night.
Hmm.
So Flossie can contest to that because I've been so busy with that. But I think for me personally, my experience is like starting things up, getting them going, and then flipping them because that's what I like to do. It's like people that
We
like
were even joking about that the other day. I'm like, you know what? You just totally love just starting businesses. And then I think once they're up and running, you get bored and you want to, deal with something else, which is one of the other reasons why I've had multiple careers. And it's probably why we get along. And it's one of the reasons why I went into the part of the medical field I did is because you can literally do so many aspects of it that if you get bored after 2 or 3 years of doing one thing, you can switch to something else. You can literally switch your specialty. And so um, but that's one of the reasons why Nikki and I get along is because we both have built businesses. Many years ago, built a person's business in 2 other states, and I've built my own businesses, and I've built this business. I mean, we both manifested becoming coaches for Sammy Ingram. We both have different stories about when we had those desires and how those unfolded. And, you know, we have done exceptionally well with coaching, and there's a lot of coaches out there that don't do very well.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say exceptionally well as far as like financials. I mean our success rate.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that we have a 100% success rate. Of course, we get people that are stuck in their old ways or they're stuck in a victim mentality or a negative mindset. It's not just about spitting words into the air. And you'll learn about this on our course. If you've never done a course with us before, you'll learn about it on this one. It's not about just saying stuff into the void and waiting for it to come back to you. That's not what this is. Manifestation is literally just mindset. The
Hmm.
law of assumption literally means what you assume. I assume I'm going to walk out of my bedroom here in a little while and my dogs are going to be waiting at the door. That's a hardened assumption of mine. I know they're there, not because I hear them, because I know they are. I have no indication they're there right now. I just know in my soul that they are. And if for some weird reason they're not, they will be tomorrow if the door's shut. But that's just a hardened assumption. Just like I get clients that come to me, oh my goodness, I'm sure you love these clients too, where they come to you and they're like, okay, I have to do this way because SP thinks this. He's set in his ways. He's only set in his ways because you say he's set in his ways. Money's only hard for you because you assume money's hard for you because that's the pattern you've repeated over and over and over again in your life.
Well, I think everyone as you pushed out is the most misunderstood thing in manifestation, period. And I've explained it to multiple clients, and they do end up getting it, but the reason why it's so hard to understand is because everyone as you pushed out means that everything that you choose to think to be true or that you assume is true is what you experience. So if you assume that you can't manifest, guess what? That's what's reflected back to you. If you assume that money's difficult for you, guess what? That's reflected back to you. If you assume your SP is rejecting you, guess what? That's what's reflected back to you because everything you literally assume is reflected back. And that's why you have these crazy ass coaches that spew nonsense. Well, because that's what was reflected back to them, and they formed the assumption that that was the way it was. But if they truly understood every one of you pushed out, they would understand that it's just because they assume it to be true.
Exactly.
And that's why when Nikki and I talk on the podcast, or we make videos on our own or videos together and talk to clients, we tell people there's a lot of people who truly don't understand law of assumption because if they did, they would understand that yes, you don't have to spin on your head while doing 55 by 5, chanting some bullshit and doing the 2 cup water method in order to manifest.
Hmm.
But because we have chosen to assume it to be true that we can both manifest money, and because I've known Nikki to consistently win at, lottery, video games, things like that, because I've always known her to win money, I have, formed the assumption that she was a jackpot winner. Well, guess what? She formed the assumption she's a jackpot winner. Why? Because she was always winning.
I was still surprised though. I'm not gonna say like I didn't like hit it. Like everybody's like, you're so nonchalant. I am nonchalant about things because I am not surprised in the fact like I knew it would happen eventually, but I was just like chilling in my bed. It was like 2 in the morning. I know I told you guys this already, but when I hit it, I froze and I was like, what the fuck? Like what just happened? I'm like reading it 3 times. And it's like Chris was up too, and he was playing a game on his iPad. He like noticed I was being weird, and he looked at me, and I showed him my phone. And he was like, "What the fuck is that?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm about to have a heart attack. Like, what is going on?" Like, it wasn't. Everybody reacts differently, but it's funny. Like, yes, I had a positive reaction, but it wasn't like over the top like you'd see in the movies or something. Like, oh my God, my life has changed and blah blah blah. Because to me, it's just a matter of fact. Like I knew it was going to happen. I didn't expect when. It's like Christmas. You know, Christmas is coming. You know, you're going to get a gift or your birthday or like something you already see happening, but you may not know what's inside the box. And that's really what it is. In this case, I got a puppy. So I was pretty excited about it. But you know, I'm still not, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. And that's how when you've kind of mastered your mindset, things feel. And I've just always been naturally lucky. And I think Flossie has too, because I've seen Flossie manifest all kinds of things. She goes a little bit, she'll call me and I know things have shifted, or she'll, oh my gosh, the things that have shifted with her and me, it's nuts. Like I broke something and she told me it wasn't broken. And then like I just believe everything Flossie tells me, just like she believes everything I tell her. I swear to God, that was the one that I was probably more excited about that than winning $26 million because it blew my mind.
Well, and plus it was a gift for me.
She bought me a pendulum as a gift. She shipped it to me. I had it maybe a couple months and the thing broke. Like that chain broke. It's got a little hook that, actually, do I have it right here? and I'll show you guys. But I don't know where it's at. But the chain broke. Like it was done. So I put it in my box. I left it alone. And we were talking, and I said something about how I was really upset about it. And I'm like, she's like, it's not broken, it's fine. Yeah, or something like that. I can't remember exactly how it went down. And the next day we're on the phone and I pull this thing out to see. I bought a new one even. I bought a new one because this thing was broke. I was like, and I like having them. I really like the decor of them too. And the thing was fine.
Hmm.
And she's like, could Chris have fixed it? And I'm like, no, I don't think so. Because there was no way to fix it like the way it was broken. I mean, maybe there was, I don't know. But I asked Chris and he's like, no, he didn't even know it was broke because I just put it up. It was so weird.
I was
It blew
just,
my
then I
mind.
was just like, well, of course it is. You just shifted to the reality where it's fixed.
But Flossie and reality shifting is a whole nother thing. Like things that unfold for me normally are very subtle. Uh, it's like a matter of fact, like something that I would naturally expect. But with Floss, and I have had things where I've shifted like that before, but nothing like that. Like with my earring, when I lost the earring my dad gave me, that was a different story. That's in the Mermaid Gang too. But um, we're talking 6 years of manifestation stories, but with just law of assumption. But Flossie's done that many times. Time has changed on her, things like that. Glitch in the Matrix. And that's a podcast we're going to do soon too. What were we
Yeah,
going to talk about?
yeah, we were going to do that one.
We're going to do that one
Let
next.
me
The
let
Della
me
effect.
let me put that in my notes. But I mean, I one time I literally took a picture and sent it to Nikki because I was affirming that I was the most powerful manifestor and it was proving me daily. And then I ended up being behind a vehicle when I got close enough to it that its license plate said proven.
Yeah, it was weird.
Like I have that type of crazy ass shit happen to me too.
Nothing is a coincidence. Like I was
No,
even, you know what? There's something different about this year. And I'm just going to say that because I even, when I talked to Sammy the other day, she said it too. She's like, I feel like something's different this year. And I said, I know. Like it's so because when of course, I told her and Flossie, I told Flossie first, but I told Sammy too, obviously, before I told anybody publicly. But she's like, no, I feel like something's different this year. And I said, I did too. And Flossie and I have been talking about that, that things feel different. It is so weird this year because there's two things. It wasn't just the pendulum, it was the dowsing rods too.
I
And
was
both
going to
of
mention
those
that
things
actually.
were broken and like totally shifted. But the weird thing is I've had coincidences happening all the time. I will say something and it pops up on the screen on TV at the very exact like seconds.
Hmm.
And I was just telling Flossie the other day that Chris's kid and I were talking. He's got two kids. His oldest daughter was talking to me about the 3D printer, and they've been making all these figurines. And she said, well, he's putting them all on our mom's dresser. So I told Chris, I said, we should really see if we have a spare, like some spare shelves to bring over to put in his room so they're not on his mom's dresser. His mom texted me. I freaked out because I called Flossie about it. His mom texted me in the same moment, the kid's mom, and said, hey, do you guys happen to have an extra shelf or something? She was looking for a bookshelf. And I said, don't even tell me it's about the 3D printed toys. And she said, how'd you know? I said, I was literally just telling Chris that. Like, it blew my freaking mind. So I asked his daughter, I was like, did you say something to your mom? Like, were you texting her as we were talking? She's like, no, my phone's over there. And I was like, what the hell? Like, just so many coincidences.
Well, I think I heard last year that they were thinking that this year was going to be a big year for spiritual awakening and big energy shift.
Yeah, I hear that crap all the time. I don't follow astrology or anything that much anymore. I used to
No,
back
like
in
not
the
an
day.
astrology thing. I don't know if it was like the world's polar axis shift or I don't know. I'd have to relook for it.
Well, there's always something going on. But yeah, this year seems to be like the big one. What is it? The year of the horse in
I'd
China?
have to look. I don't even keep up with that.
I don't either. But I keep hearing people talking about it like just hearsay, or I'll scroll
Yeah, I
past
mean,
videos.
starting at the end of last year, even my clients have been manifesting stuff that would seem that most people would consider impossible.
Right. Well, what was it? I posted a win right before Christmas. How much did I win? $20,000? Something
I
like
think
that.
so.
It was like
Yeah.
December 18th or something. And I knew from that point on, I'm like, something big's gonna happen. And I just felt it in my gut. But it's like everything's been just so back to back to back to back unfolding.
I know. It's like ridiculously crazy.
I'm not mad about it. I'm
Well,
happy.
I'm not mad about it either because fuck, we all want our shit, right?
Right. But just like even with my business, this isn't the first business that I grew from a small place. This would be my third location in town, and then we have two out of town franchises. But yes, I'm the headquarters. I'm not in a franchise. Like I own the whole company. But this wouldn't be the first one I've done. I've done several other ones. And those of you that don't know us can go back and look at our success stories in the group and see the proof. You want the proof. The proof is there. The pictures, um, not Photoshop pictures, videos of me grand opening, cutting the ribbon in front of my shops, in front of my stores, in front of my restaurants. God, I've done everything. The only thing I haven't done is I'm like Barbie, like the Timu Barbie, I guess.
Oh,
Because
yeah, yeah.
what?
I was like Barbie.
Yeah, like Timu Barbie, but I have to do everything. Like Barbie has every career.
Yeah,
I'm just not an astronaut yet. I haven't done that. I don't want to do that. I'm good.
I'd never want to do that.
I'm totally fine not doing that. Or like marine biology. Nah, I like to dive, but I don't want to go study them or anything.
No.
Anyway, we've been talking for a long time because my Zoom thing just popped up to let me know we're at like 30 minutes. Oh, you know
Well,
what? I had you waiting first. That's why.
oh yeah, that's probably it.
Anyway, sorry guys, we're just rambling. Things have been a lot more laxed lately. I think this year is huge for everybody, and that's why we really want to do the free course. Not just because I won money and yes, we're feeling generous because it's not just me, it's we, Flossie and I, because we've done this together many times, and I take it as a win for both of us because she's benefiting too. Um, we want to do the free course not because of that, but because I feel like this year is just different. And I feel like if you really pay attention, you really put this focus in that you need to focus on and change your actual mindset, not just spit crap into the air, you are going to see results. Whether it's in your career, your love life, or whatever, or just a random win. I don't know.
Well, this course is going to be awesome. We're going to give you a bunch of tips and tricks on things that you can do, things you can do to change your mindset, maintain your mindset. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that we personally do to manifest, and I think that you guys will like it. And it's kind of one of those things where, you know, we've said it before, we'll say it again. You don't need coaching. We actually have plenty of content all over the place that is very helpful. But now we're actually putting something in a constructive class for you guys.
Yeah. And we will be posting more podcasts soon since
And I don't think there's any other coaches that do that, to be honest. Is there any other coaches that actually like do a live course? I don't think so. For
probably.
subscribers, I don't think so.
Who knows? I don't follow other coaches. That's why when I posted, oh, I'm the first coach to prove I won millions, people are like, no, you're not. I'm like, sorry, I didn't know. I don't watch them.
Well, I don't really, I mean, I don't either, but I've never heard of anything. I've never heard of it through the grapevine that people are doing that.
Right. Oh, just to let you guys know, with the free health coaching, I turned it off. I had the link posted under one of the videos and I took it down because I have 1,200 people that had already filled it out. I do not have the time to take on more. I'm going to randomly pick people from there to do email coaching. Um, but that's about at my level right now. So if you haven't gotten a response from me, you may. And I'm sorry I can't take every one of you. I really didn't expect that much, honestly. I just thought, oh, I'd have a handful of people. A lot of people are working on health stuff. So maybe that's another course we'll do in the near future or a podcast we'll talk about it or something.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. So anyway, March 29th at 11 a.m. Central Time. That is 9 a.m. Pacific.
9 Pacific, noon Eastern. Other time zones figure out because we just did the time change. And so some places, the amount of time has changed, and some places do daylight savings times, but it's different times than we're doing it. So just put it in your calculator.
Put it on Google. Yeah. Something. Your calculator.
Well, they have like time difference calculators or
I know,
whatever.
I know, I know. It just sounded funny. Anyway, guys, sorry, kind of rambling. That's kind of what the podcasts are, just us shooting the shit. So, uh,
Honestly,
right.
this
So,
is how we talk on the phone.
yeah, pretty much. You guys
Yeah.
are just hearing our conversations. Plus, we're talking to you guys too. But we love y'all.
Yes, we do.
And we know that this year is going to change a lot of things for a lot of people for the better. So make sure you check out the class and we see you guys there.
Yeah, we'll totally see you. We look forward to teaching you our awesome ways.
All right. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.